those who are here, and yet those to come. You know, I have the honor of introducing a colleague, friend, and he loves to mentor, of course, up to me as well. That's Mr. Festus Amoye. And I'm going to give him a hand. And what Festus is going to do tonight, he's going to continue to extend all of the wonderful words about the spark and the ignition of this wonderful community that begins here and that will go further when we leave. Okay? Now, there's going to be three things I'm going to talk about. Be very quickly, and I'm on the timer. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm also going to leave you with several questions that I'd like for you to ponder and to reflect on. And last, I'm going to leave you with a foundation that Festus is going to talk about. So let's talk about this story. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, from a little bit of everywhere. Been in Houston since 2011. Working for Mahindra Company, approximately 100,000 employees, over 100 companies. I was Chief Marketing Officer as well as Executive Vice President of Strategic Planning and GM of Americas. We had an opportunity to take 100 of our top employees to Cape Town. Spent a week and a half there. I'm the only brother there, without question. You want to be the first, but make sure you're not the last. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
All right. Desmond Tutu, Bishop Desmond Tutu. Are you familiar with him?
Yes.
Walks into the room and he spans the room. Didn't ask me where I was from. Didn't ask me who I was. But he said, "Brother, that's my brother over there. Brother, come here." The CEO out of Mahindra brought me over to Desmond and we had some fellowship. We broke bread. But yet and still we connected. And we connected on the things that I think these are things that are unspoken. Whenever I've traveled the world, you see another brother. What do? Nah. It's like acknowledgement. To receive consideration, one must first give consideration. Am I right?
Yeah.
So you gotta recognize who you are. But the fact is this. I'm from everywhere. I represent what we're talking about tonight. And speaking of DNA, I'm gonna give you a little bit of mine. 38% Nigeria.
Come on now.
21% Cameroon, Congo, Western Bantu people. 18% Ivory Coast and Ghana. 5% Mali. 5% Benin and Togo. 4% Senegal.
Wow.
Now, that's quite a bit, isn't it? Isn't that what we're talking about tonight?
Yes.
I am you, I am you, I am you, I'm you back there too. We are the best, without question. And you know what we are? Thank you. We're all about reclaiming our identity. We're also about connecting immediately this sense of belonging that exists within us, that flows through our veins and our DNA, that help us walk that walk and talk that talk. In addition to that, we're all about community. And I want to say a few things before I talk about Mr. Festus Amoye. We struggle, haven't we? And we'll continue to struggle. Coretta Scott King, struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is really never won. You earn it and you win it with every generation. How about this? If there were no difficulties, there would be no success. If there was nothing to struggle, there would be nothing to achieve. That's Proverbs chapter 31, verses 25 to 28. Folks, what are we talking about here? We're talking about if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, we're talking about going together. And we're talking about not being angry about the things we disagree, but the things we agree on. Because no matter how angry you are, no matter how mad you are, it cannot cook yams. We're talking about the sun does not forget a village just because it's small. We're talking about us. We're talking about things in this room the resources, the most valuable resources is the talent, treasures, and time that we provide. So folks, Festus is going to talk about where are we and where should we be? I can tell you this, I live in a three-dimensional world. Is anybody familiar with the story Don Quixote?
Yes, indeed.
Don Quixote and his sidekick Sancho would always be frustrated when Don Quixote would hold his sabers and look at windmills. And Sancho was like, man, what are you yelling about? He's, I'm fighting the dragons, I'm fighting the next monsters. But it's a windmill. Listen, we have some monsters and some dragons we need to fight. And we live in a three-dimensional world that we need to get our act together. And because we're here today, we're going to make it happen. So after all is said and done, hopefully more is done than said. So I'm going to leave you with this. As Mr. Festus Amoye comes up here to talk to you, he's going to lay a foundation. Because no home is built unless the foundation is solid. Built by brick. Because when you're building a foundation, are you building a wall? Are you building a castle for generations to come? Folks, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my brother, Mr. and author, and serial entrepreneur, Brother Festus Amoye. Get on up.